Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video we're going to be talking about how you can gain intelligence. And when I say that you can gain intelligence, the meaning is duplicitous in nature. So when we are being duplicitous, we mean one thing, but we also mean another thing. And that's what duplicitous means, if you didn't know. So to gain intelligence, we need to do one of either two things. We can either gather information, which is intel, or we can gain intellect, which is also intelligence. And I know you might be thinking, oh, but they're two different words. Why wouldn't you just say the one thing? Because it's important to convey as much information as possible within a single thought. So when you tell your subconscious, I want to gain intelligence, when you're praying that, or when you are setting that as a goal for all you atheists out there, when you set the goal to gain intelligence. Oh geez, now I have to go into how you've been lied to by the public school system, that you actually can gain intelligence, and I guess now I have to explain how to do that. So the first thing to note when you're trying to gain intellect is to keep an open mind. And that's very important because it allows you to learn. If you don't have an open mind, you can't learn. So I hope I taught someone something with that little explanation. Yeah, so and obviously through gaining information we are able to draw upon it and make more informed decisions, and we do this through something called reconnaissance. And this can be as simple as doing a Google search on what you're curious about, or so gaining intelligence is both inward and outwards. You can either gain intelligence from inside, and that increases the intellect, which is the processing power, or you can do reconnaissance, which is gaining intelligence outwardly. But what I'd like to talk to you about in this video, what I've been trying to make a video on, is a particular song by a band, and what this band is trying to convey to us is that we need to think, that the mind is somewhat akin to a car, and there is through inference I have deduced, is that even I'm not a detective, guys, come on. Through deduction on what works in a car, I've determined that the brakes and the gas, as well as the steering wheel, are three things within the mind, or three processes that the mind uses, and it's more likely that the mind is more complex than a simple car, but I digress. In this analogy, the gas is, let's start with the steering wheel. The steering wheel is thought, and our thought sets us on our way to where we are going. And it is through, I suppose I have to figure out a way to explain this to my atheist viewers on the fly, but faith is the gas pedal. So faith can also be considered belief, which is also sort of knowing. So I guess it really would be drive. So you have thought, and through this thought we steer ourselves in a direction, and it is through our drive, our force of will, that we get there. And then you have the brakes, and the brakes are it's something a little bit more scary to put on brakes in this analogy, but the brakes are if drive is getting us there, then brakes would be, well, a brake. It would be something that slows us down. And what I have figured this to be is, well, sleep, as it is said in the song. And it is because sleep takes us out of this world. We are not impacting the world in any meaningful way when we are sleeping. That is the brakes of the manifesting car. So that's how we manifest. So we have thought, we have faith in the thought to get us there, and if we're going too fast or in the wrong direction, the first thing we want to do is apply the brakes. We need to give it a rest. But the song's name is Car Radio, and so it talks about the steering wheel, and it talks about the two things that work, that are left in the car. And since the car radio was stolen in the song, then the gas and the brakes are the only two things left that work out of the car parts. And there would obviously be more minor things like the wheels and the transmission, but the things that we can impact are the gas, the brakes, the steering wheel. And there's also the car radio, which is the most illusory, something. It's the most, how do I say this? It's the hardest to understand. And so the car radio, I think, would be us listening to whatever source that we want to listen to. It's whatever's impacting us. And really, what I'd like to present it as being is our connection to the divine. But since not all of my viewers believe that God exists, as they were likely taught that God is big man in the sky, and I believe that is preposterous that people would let that live in their head rent free, that God is big man in the sky, and never venture out to think of him as anything else. I just find that preposterous. It's absolutely absurd that people would dedicate themselves to an echo chamber like that, but I, in part, have this YouTube channel to convince people that God is not big man in the sky, that God is something closer to what he's described as in the East, and that is entirely ineffable. And if you don't really understand the concept of something being ineffable, it's not something you can process with your intellect. I think that about wraps up this video. My name is Liam of Bishop Vlogs. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Liking shows the video to other people. Commenting lets me know what you want me to talk about. It also, you can talk about what you thought was interesting in this video, and subscribing lets you continue to see my pretty little face, so do that.